All right guys, today's video we're going to be pre-treating and salting the hospital. We have like half an inch, maybe as little as a dusting of snow coming today, so it's not really enough to plow. We're just going to salt it, pre-treat it. Hopefully that just takes care of it. Let's get started and start the equipment. Only like 22 degrees, so everything should start just fine. Nothing's plugged in. That's going to be a problem. Seal's starting to come apart. This might start a little bit harder. Usually I'll cycle these like 2 or 3 times and then try to start it. About 80 tons in this one. Probably about 30 in this one, maybe 40. Might only be like 22 degrees, but feels like 2. So right now we got 3 tons in the back, and that usually is enough to pre-treat all 600,000 square feet of this place. When we pre-treat, we don't really throw it on really thick, just pretty thin. Alrighty, so let's get started. Like I said, we're going to be doing every little spot here extremely lightly. You know, it's a small snowstorm, so we're not going to be throwing that much salt out and just be wasting it. So right now I just kind of have the flow like halfway, and if I'm doing the road here, I have the width pretty far down, and when I'm in a parking lot, I usually have the width almost all the way up. So it's 7:30, so that's like kind of go time here. It's when everyone starts showing up, all the employees for every building essentially. So I'm here a little late. Usually if I pre-salt, I'll do it like an hour before everyone gets here. That way you can get every spot. So we got a little plow light up top. Have some strobes on the bed, on the side and in the rear. We have two, not just one, LEDs and two strobes for the sander as well. We also have these cheesy, expensive covers for the steel casters. I actually do like them. I hated them the first year, but they last a year and they haven't broke yet, so definitely worth them in my opinion. And this is a 3-yard steel caster, by the way. I need to clean this bed out big time. That will cause some issues. Usually the salt freezes up here and ends up clogging up the chain, so definitely need to get in here and start taking care of that. So we try to always keep the plow off this truck, just because you can see there's a lot of tight spots and kind of need the good turning radius of these 550s to get in some spots. Obviously when it's a big snowstorm, it's nice to have a plow on because you can plow the road and salt it at the same time. But typically we'll just have the plow right off this truck, that way it's a lot easier to turn. There's a really important spot here. It's a 24/7 laundromat, and it's a really steep hill. What a great design. So during all hours of the night. So now that I'm on the road, like I said, I usually turn the spinner right down. That way all the salt just doesn't fall off the edge of the road. But you know, when I'm in a big open parking lot, I turn the width right up. So obviously we're at the main entrance and emergency area. It's kind of the most important, obviously. So ambulances need to come in all hours of the day. So they're really picky about that. We don't do anything with the helipad right there. The maintenance crew here does that. I'm not sure why, but they do it themselves. So we've been doing this place for like 3 years. This is our 3rd year. It's like a 5-year contract that we signed. So we're all set for another 2. It was definitely kind of a learning curve taking on the first year, but we quickly adapted, figured out the best way to do it, and most efficient routes essentially. And we've been doing pretty good. I do believe in total there is 7 buildings here, and I mean one of them is absolutely massive and has like a ton of parking lots, but pretty sure there's 7 buildings here. Like I said, it's like 600,000 square feet. It's kind of what I calculated on Google Earth. I just mapped everything out. But definitely a pretty big place. Kind of pulling up on our last parking lot here. Just kind of made the big circle. Basically, the way that I set this contract up, I thought was pretty smart. So I had a snow plowing as a seasonal. That price doesn't change. And what the X factor is the salt. So I keep track of all the salt that I spread, and I bill that to them once a month. That way, if we get a month of just pure freezing rain, I can actually still survive, because that'd be a ton of salt if we just had 1 month of freezing rain. I think we went through like almost 480 tons last year alone. I know we're somewhere around 300 this year. But something to keep in mind if you guys are ever bidding something this size and this needy is, you know, salt is, it's gonna out of your hands, and you can't really predict how much you're gonna use at a place like this. And you can either spend, you know, 30 grand in salt for a year if you don't really have any storms, or you can be spending upwards of $200,000 in salt. So it's a pretty big deal that you get that squared away and figured out, because just doing it as a lump sum contract price could definitely break you, that's for sure. So definitely glad I set it up like that. There is like a DOT station or whatever where they think they do their tests, or at least their drug tests or whatever. Yeah, DOT station right here. So every once in a while you have a semi-truck on the road like this, in case you're wondering. It's another place just part of the hospital. It's kind of where they train nurses, I guess. Basically, this is the 8th, so I kind of forgot about one, I guess. But 8 buildings here, I think. And this place is literally like the next place down the road. It's not far away at all. We actually drive the skid steer here to plow it usually, or the loader. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Obviously, any recommendations, advice, or comments, leave down in the comments below. Thanks again.